Good morning, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jenn B, and you are listening to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Today, we got all the sports for you. We've got some basketball, some hockey, some baseball, some soccer, some volleyball, some football, college and pro. We're going to talk Cavs, Charge, Guardians, Blue Jackets, Monsters, Fury, Browns, John Carroll, Mount Union, Ashland, Ohio State, and of course, last but not least, the Columbus Crew, who stay right here listening to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we will get into the sports right after these messages from our wonderful sponsors.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out our wonderful sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can head on over to planetjerky.net to place your orders today. It is the best jerky out there. And Seal the Deal Wax Seals. It is the perfect finish to your invitations, letters, and gifts. Maybe your Christmas cards. Check them out at IE Sports Radio /Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And of course, IE Sports Radio. Be sure to follow us on all of the socials, including Blue Sky now at IE Sports Radio. Check out the website. You can get more information on all of our wonderful shows, the show hosts, fans of the month. Check out our blogs. You can catch all of the past shows on the website as well. And of course, you can catch the audio playback of all of our shows on all of these wonderful podcast options. Be sure to follow me on X at Show of the Land IE, on Blue Sky, IG, and Threads at Believeland Girl, and on TikTok at Jen.Believeland. Now let's talk some sports. We're going to start out with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You will notice all of my M's are X'd out because it is hate week and there are no M's in Ohio this week. The Cavs have come back to earth, y'all. They have indeed. So let's talk about how they did over this past week and a half or so. Last Tuesday night after my show, the Cavs took on the Boston Celtics in Game 2 of the Emirates Cup group play. And sadly, they lost 120 to 117. Not a terrible loss by any means, because Isaac Okoro was out. Karis LeVert was out. So Sam Merrill got the start in Isaac Okoro's place, who was starting in Max Strus's place. And the Cavs fought. They tried their darndest. I personally think having Isaac Okoro in there would have helped significantly. Karis LeVert likely would have helped as well, but they really needed Isaac Okoro's defense in that game, and it was sorely missed because he's really good at chasing guys off the 3-point line, and they were just knocking down threes left and right. Donovan Mitchell led with 35 points. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley both had double-doubles. Jarrett Allen had 10 points and 11 rebounds, and Evan had 22 points and 11 rebounds. It was also Jarrett Allen's 200th career double-double. So congratulations to Mr. Jarrett Allen. On Wednesday, the Cavs took on the New Orleans Pelicans without Darius Garland, Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, and Sam Merrill. Plus Max Strus, of course, who I just don't mention because he's been out all season. So we will start talking about him again when he's back in the lineup. Ty Jerome and rookie Jalen Tyson made the starting five in the absence of Darius Garland, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro. Donovan Mitchell scored his 12,000th career point during this game. And At one point, the Cavs were up by more than 30 points. So JT Thor and Luke Travers, as well as Jalen Tyson, got some significant playing time. Ty Jerome led the team with 29 points. Jarrett Allen and Jalen Tyson both had double doubles, each with 16 points and 11 rebounds. So, way to go, Jalen, in your first start, getting a double double. Sunday, the Cavs took on the Toronto Raptors and won 122 to 108. Dean Wade and Karis LeVert were out for that game. Darius Garland surpassed 6,000 career points during the game. Ty Jerome and Donovan Mitchell led the team with 26 points each. And Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley again had double doubles. Jarrett Allen had 23 points and 13 rebounds. And Evan Mobley had 14 points and 11 rebounds. On Wednesday, the Cavs took on the Atlanta Hawks without Karis LeVert and Dean Wade. They lost 135 to 124. It was their first home loss of the season. Donovan Mitchell led with 30 points, and Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley again had double doubles. Jarrett Allen had 17 points and 10 rebounds, and Evan Mobley had 22 points and 16 rebounds. Yesterday, the Cavs again took on the Atlanta Hawks, this time in Atlanta, and it was game 3 of the NBA Emirates Cup group play. And the Cavs lost 117 to 101. Dean Wade was out for this game. Darius Garland led with 29 points. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell both had double doubles. Evan Mobley had 24 points and 12 rebounds, and Donovan Mitchell had 12 points and 11 rebounds. So let's talk a little bit about these Hawks games. Wow. The Hawks just completely outplayed the Cavs in both games. Absolutely outplayed them. The Cavs came out hot in both games. They started off the scoring. They were up by decent margins in the early first quarter. And then once the Hawks got going, there was no stopping them. And the Cavs just had no answer in either game. I was hoping yesterday's game would be better than Wednesday's because, a second time playing them. But no, it was not. Donovan Mitchell couldn't get going. He did hit a couple of threes early in the second half. So it looked like he was going to get going. Or I'm sorry, it was not early in the second half. It was at the end of the first half. So it looked like he was going to get going, but he just did not. He only had 12 points. He was on the boards getting the rebounds. He had 11 rebounds to go with Evan Mobley's 12, but his shots just weren't going. So it was a rough day. Ty Jerome was a little off. Sam Merrill was off. Darius Garland was the only one that was really going, and Evan Mobley also with 24 points. Even Jarrett Allen didn't have the greatest numbers in that game. It was just they were off. So hopefully they can get it going again, because next up, Sunday, tomorrow, they are playing the Boston Celtics. So hopefully they can, hopefully everybody will be healthy. I haven't heard any significant updates on Dean Wade, so I'm not sure if he's close to returning. They did say that Max Strus is not close. So it may be a while before we see Max Strus, if at all, because if you remember, the same thing happened with Ty Jerome last year, where maybe he'll be back, maybe he won't, and then he ended up having to have surgery. So we'll see what happens with Max. It would be great to get him back on the court. We could really use his shooting and his defense, but I don't know if it's going to happen this season. We will see. Originally, it was 4 to 6 weeks, and he's due to be evaluated soon if he hasn't already been. But Kenny Atkinson said a few days ago that he's not close. So we'll see. We will see for sure. But Porzingis is back for the Celtics, so it's gonna be it's gonna be a different matchup than it was the last game we played the Celtics. Of course, we did have guys out for that game. Let me scroll back up here. Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert were both out, so hopefully we will have them both back, and it can be a better game against the Celtics, and hopefully they can get back to winning because this is the first time all season the Cavs have lost 2 straight, obviously, since they've only lost 3 total. But their only losses are to the Hawks and the Celtics. So it seems this season the Hawks are the thorn in the Cavs' side. The last few years it's been the Raptors, but the Cavs have handled the Raptors very handily so far this season. So the Raptors are no longer that thorn in the Cavs' side, but it appears the Hawks have taken over there. But that's about all for the Cavs. We will talk more about the Cavs on Tuesday, of course. We will talk about that matchup with the Celtics for sure. Let's get on to the Charge. The Charge had a solid week. Tuesday, they took on the Windy City Bulls and they won 129 to 118. Pete Nance led with 27 points, and Jules Bernard had a double-double with 25 points and 10 rebounds. Sunday, they played the Motor City Cruise and lost 120 to 109. Jules Bernard led with 29 points. Pete Nance had a double-double with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Tuesday, they again took on the Motor City Cruise, and this time they won 108 to 97. Jules Bernard and Luke Travers led with 21 points each, and JT Thor recorded a double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Their next games are tonight against the Grand Rapids Gold, and then Tuesday at noon they will be taking on the Sioux Falls Skyforce. So hopefully they can stack up a couple of more wins because they've been struggling a little early on in the season. They seem to be finding their way now. Only one loss this past week and a half, so hopefully they can get a couple more wins in there. I don't know. They struggle against the Skyforce, but I don't believe they've faced Grand Rapids yet. So we'll see how that plays out. But maybe with the noon start, they can catch Sioux Falls sleeping or something and get the win there. We are going to talk some baseball now. How about them Guardians? I know it's weird, right? Talking Guardians in winter. And yes, I know it is not officially winter, but I'm telling you what, it feels like winter. It's like 22 freaking degrees. I am freezing. So first up, we have some awards. Well, actually, one award and one honorable mention, so to speak. Stephen Vogt has been named American League Manager of the Year, and he is the fastest person to have gone from player to manager of the year in MLB history. So congratulations to Stephen Vogt. Much deserved, well deserved. This team showed out under Stephen Vogt this season. Can't wait to see what they bring to the table next season. Emmanuel Clase, who was a finalist for the Cy Young in the American League, finished third in the Cy Young voting. So congratulations to Emmanuel Clase. Pretty significant right there for a closer. They don't pitch a whole lot. And he was up against starters. So to come in third is pretty amazing. So congratulations to Emmanuel Clase and Stephen Vogt. Now we have a boatload of roster changes. The Guardians added to the 40-man roster right-handed pitcher Franco Aleman, right-handed pitcher Nick Enright, outfielder Petey Halpin, and left-handed pitcher Doug Nikhazy. They designated for assignment right-handed pitcher Peter Strzelecki, who was then traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates for cash considerations, right-handed pitcher Connor Gillespie, outfielder George Valera, and they traded right-handed pitcher Eli Morgan to the Chicago Cubs for outfielder Alfonso Rosario. They signed Ben Lively to a 1-year, $2.25 million contract. They also signed Sam Henches to a 1-year, $1.377 million contract. However, he will miss the entire 2025 season after undergoing shoulder surgery in September. The Guardians also failed to come to terms with Stephen Kwan, Josh Naylor, Lane Thomas, and Nick Sandlin. The sides will come together again January 9th, and if they can't come to agreements, independent arbitrators will be assigned. So fingers crossed they can avoid arbitration and come to an agreement on January 9th. The Guardians also re-signed outfielder George Valera to a minor league contract with an invite to major league camp. So the Guardians have been busy. They also made some coaching promotions, but the list was extraordinarily long, and you can catch it on the X. I reposted it, so I'm not going to get into all of that because most of those guys, most of us don't really know because a lot of them are, front office people and minor league assistants and things of that nature. I did check the list to see if there was anything significant, and I did not see anything that stood out. So, I'm not going to get into that, but you can for sure check that out on X. I reposted it. The Guardians posted it. I'm sure it is on the Guardians website as well. But that is that. We will definitely be keeping an eye on how things are going with the Stephen Kwan, Josh Naylor, Lane Thomas, and Nick Sandlin negotiations. And if there are any more roster changes, we'll bring those to you. But for right now, that is that on the Guardians. And that is going to wrap up the basketball and baseball portion of the show. I am going to take a short break. And when I come back, we will talk some hockey, Blue Jackets, Monsters, and we will also talk about the Fury, who had their draft this past week. So stay right here, listening to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'll be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Carney, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out those wonderful shows, Fast Break with Davidson and D-Lock, for all of your basketball news. They are the best basketball show this side of the Mississippi. And Chi-Town Weekly with Adam Karnick. For all of your Chicago sports needs, be sure to check him out. He's been ranting and raving about them Bears. So be sure to check out those wonderful shows. Now let's talk some hockey. The Blue Jackets got a couple of roster updates. The Blue Jackets loaned defenseman David Juracek and forward Mikhail Putia to the Monsters. Fourth overall draft pick Caden Lindstrom underwent minor back surgery per GM Don Waddell. He is hopeful that Lindstrom will be able to return to the ice yet this season. The Blue Jackets also activated Kent Johnson from IR, and they signed forward Joseph Labate to a 1-year, 2-way contract and then put him on waivers so that they could send him to Cleveland to be with the Zonsters, because we're not saying M's today. The Zonsters. How you like that? The Zonsters. All right. Now for our week in review. Last Thursday, the Blue Jackets took on the Tampa Bay Lightning and they won 7-6 in overtime. So the Browns and the Blue Jackets were both playing at the same time on Thursday night. And I posted in our podcast chat group, who do you think is going to score more points tonight? The Blue Jackets or the Browns? Because at that point, the Blue Jackets had already scored 5 and the Browns game hadn't started yet. So fortunately, the Browns did outscore the Blue Jackets, but the Blue Jackets did get themselves a touchdown. So pretty fantastic game. Sean Monahan had a goal. Dmitry Voronkov. Oh my gosh, I can't say these names. Dmitry Voronkov also scored a goal. Kent Johnson had 2 goals, one of which was a shorthanded goal. Zach Werenski also had 2 goals, one of which was the overtime winner, and Yegor Chinnikov recorded a goal. Zach Werenski was named the NHLPA Player of the Week. Congratulations to Zach. Saturday, the Blue Jackets took on the Carolina Hurricanes and won. That's right, they won 5-4 in a shootout. Dante Fabro scored a goal. Kirill Marchenko scored 2 goals. And Dmitry Voronkov had a power play goal. Sean Monahan had the winner in the shootout. Congratulations to the Blue Jackets. 2 straight wins. Awesome. Zach Werenski was also named the NHL's first star of the week with 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. Congratulations to Zach. He is making things happen this season. Wednesday, The Blue Jackets took on the Montreal Canadiens and lost. Sad. Wah, wah. 4-3 in overtime. So they still got a point. So woohoo. Cole Sillinger was out with an upper body injury. Matthew Olivier scored a goal. Yegor Chinnikov and Zach Werenski also scored goals. Zach Werenski also had a Gordie Howe hat trick with an assist, a goal, and a fight. It was his second Gordie Howe hat trick of his career. So, way to go. Zach is not who you expect to see fighting. That is for sure. But he did. So, way to go. Friday, yesterday, the Blue Jackets took on the Calgary Flames and they won 5-2. Daniil Tarasov was out with an illness, so Jet Greaves was recalled from Cleveland on an emergency recall. Elvis got the start, but Jet was there to back him up if needed. Yegor Chinnikov was out with an upper body injury. Cole Sillinger did return to the lineup. Adam Fantilli had 2 goals. Kent Johnson had a goal. Zach Werenski had a goal. Do you see a trend here? Whose name I keep saying? Kirill Marchenko also had a goal, an empty netter at the end of the game when the Canadians pulled a skater to, or pulled the goalie to add an extra skater and try and tie up the game. It was 4-2 at that point, but sorry, my nose is tickly. But yeah, it was to no avail, and the Blue Jackets added another to widen the deficit. So fantastic week for the Blue Jackets. Won all but one game. Fantastic, fantastic. Love to see it. Next up for the Blue Jackets is tomorrow night. They will be taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. For more about the Chicago Blackhawks, be sure to check out Chi-Town Weekly with Adam. Hence why I played his drop. You see, there is a method to my madness. Now on to the Zonsters. The Zonsters. Got a couple of roster updates for the Zonsters. They released Grant Gabriel from his PTO. Stanislav Svozil was suspended for 3 games for an illegal check to the head during Sunday's game. We'll talk more about Sunday's game here in a minute. They also recalled goaltender Pavel Kazan from the Cincinnati Cyclones, and that is because of Jet Greaves being recalled on an emergency recall to the Blue Jackets. Now for the week in review. Last Saturday, the Blue Jackets, or not the Blue Jackets, the Zonsters took on the Milwaukee. Oh no, it's not Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Admirals. The Milwaukee Admirals. And they won 4-1. Justin Pearson, Treyfix Wolanski, Old Julian Borvik Holm, and Mikhail Putia had the 4 goals. Sunday, they again played the Milwaukee Admirals, and they won 6-5 in overtime. Owen Sillinger recorded a goal. Luka Del Bel-Beluz had 2 goals. Treyfix Wolanski also had 2 goals. And David Juracek got the winner in overtime. Wednesday, the Zonsters took on the Rochester Americans, and they won 5-4. Luka Del Bel-Beluz had 2 goals. Justin Pearson had a goal. Owen Sillinger had a goal. And Gavin Brindley recorded his first professional goal. Congratulations to Gavin. Next up for the Monsters, who are now on a 10-game winning streak, but were on a 9-game winning streak. Last night, they played the Toronto Marlies. They did win that game, but I am not going to talk about that tonight or today because I was supposed to go live yesterday, so I don't have it in my notes. So we will talk about it on Tuesday, how that game went. They did get the win, but we'll talk more in more detail about that game on Tuesday. And then tomorrow they will be playing the Grand Rapid Griffins. Hopefully they can continue the win streak. And on Tuesday, we will be talking about an 11 game win streak. Go Zonsters! Now we are going to talk a little bit of volleyball. We haven't talked volleyball in quite some time, but the Fury had their draft this past week, and they drafted Houston Libero Kate Georgiades, Cincinnati middle blocker Abby Walker, Western Kentucky outside hitter Kaylee Cox, and Illinois outside hitter Raina Terry. So welcome to the Fury, to these wonderful ladies who will be joining the crew. Can't wait for the season to get going in January. Looking forward to it. I've been craving some volleyball, so maybe, just maybe, I'll make a match again this season. We'll see. Husband and I have been talking about making a trip down to Columbus, maybe catch a hockey game and a volleyball match or something if we can work it out, or maybe a volleyball match and a soccer match. I don't know. We'll see. We're trying to figure out when we can both get off work at the same time and make it happen. So I definitely would not mind seeing another volleyball match in person. Definitely would love to see the Blue Jackets or the Crew as well. But that is going to wrap up the hockey and volleyball portion of the show. I am going to take another short break, and when I come back, we will get into the football and football. So stay right here with the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after these messages.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph DeLeese, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph DeLeese, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yell, and if you are looking for sports takes that live a mile above the rest, look no further than Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Want to talk about NBA MVPs and champions? Yeah, that's us. Perhaps a baseball team that no matter how they play, you just can't quit them? Yep, we've got that too. What about Stanley Cups, NHL award winners in the burgundy and blue? Got it. How about Buffaloes that run, pass, shoot, dunk? You bet. For all things Colorado sports, look no further than right here every Sunday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. Because if that light is red and the kids are in bed, you are listening to Mile High Musings, where we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos. Stay good, sports fans.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out those wonderful shows you just heard about, the Yinzer Report with Ralph Calise for all of your Pittsburgh sports needs, and Mile High Musings with Aaron Yal for your Colorado sports needs. Now for some football. Actually, football. Football. So Thursday night, the Browns took on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Huntington Bank Stadium, also known as Cleveland Browns Stadium, down on the lakefront. And boy, was it lakey. Started out looking like it was not going to be too bad of a day. But then the second half came and the snow came, and it was a snow globe kind of day. So the Browns had Jedrick Wills and tight end Jeff Swaim out for the game. They elevated tight end Blake Whiteheart from the practice squad, who actually had probably the best catch of the game. So good for him. Congratulations to Blake Whiteheart on that fantastic catch. The announcers actually screwed up and said it was David Njoku. It surely was not. Didn't even look like David Njoku. But, whatever. I mean, their numbers are close. I think Blake Whiteheart is 86 and David Njoku's 85. And then, of course, Jordan Akins is 88. So the numbers are very close. And in the snow, a little hard to read the numbers, especially the way it was coming down Thursday evening. So the Browns get the win, 24-19. Myles Garrett had 3 sacks and a forced fumble in the first half. The second half was played in near whiteout conditions. And let me tell you, those guys had the time of their life out there making snow angels. They had a snowball fight after the game. It was crazy. I'm telling you, I was watching the game and the Steelers kicked a field goal at one point. And the only way you could tell that they made the field goal was that you could kind of see the ref's arms go up. Once the ball left the ground, you couldn't see it. That's how crazy the snow was. The field was completely covered. You couldn't really see the yard markers. I saw a podcast from Andrew Siciliano, who is the new voice of the Browns, and he said, well, he's trying to call the game, and he's like, Jerry Jeudy just made a catch. I think he's at the 35. I don't know, it might be the 40. Can't really tell, because up in the booth, they could not see the yard markers at all. Amazon Prime did like an overlay over the field. So like if you were watching it on TV, you could kind of tell where the yard markers were and stuff. But watching it in person at the game, couldn't see anything. The field was completely white. It was crazy. It's one of the craziest games I've ever seen the Browns play. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not liking this crazy snow this early in the year myself. What is that? What does that mean? Is in store for us as this winter progresses. But yeah, it was a fantastic game. Now, well, you know what? Let me go back to this for a second. This team is so freaking confusing, right? They play their booties off against the Steelers and the Ravens and get the divisional wins. They look like crapola against the Bengals. They look like crapola against the Saints. They look like crapola against every other team they've played, with the exception of Jacksonville. But they show out against Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I don't understand it. I just don't. So we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But they are currently 3-8. But those guys, they still have playoff hopes. What is happening in Cleveland, y'all? Got a couple of awards to talk about now. Rodney McLeod is the team's finalist for the NFL's Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. So congratulations to Rodney McLeod. Get out there and vote for him. Myles Garrett was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week. And let me tell you, Myles Garrett went into that game with something to prove. He had a chip on his shoulder after TJ Watt's comments after Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. So Myles Garrett went out on that field with something to prove against the Steelers, and boy, did he show out. Barely heard TJ Watt's name at all, and Myles Garrett was on it like white on the field, y'all. Like white on the field. Oh, and I forgot to mention, going back to Thursday Night Football. So I'm sure y'all remember last year against the Steelers. Of course, it was the game in Pittsburgh. Catastrophic knee injury to Nicholas Jamal Chubb. Guess who scored 2 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers? That same Nicholas Jamal Chubb. After the game, Kevin Stefanski said, and I quote, "Nick Chubb is my absolute favorite player on this team. And you can go in that locker room and tell everybody I said so." I think everybody feels that way about Nick Chubb. The guys were so happy for him that he got those touchdowns. They said he'll never say it. You will not be able to tell, but getting those touchdowns against the Steelers after coming back from that catastrophic knee injury meant something to Nick Chubb, and it meant something to the rest of the team. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. We're going to try this again, Taryn. Taryn was in the chat yesterday when I tried to go live, but the tech gods, as he said, were not with me and nothing worked. Like I went live for like 2 seconds and then my whole computer froze and I got kicked out completely and I could not get back in. It was just ridiculous. And he says the Browns had some bite against the Steelers. Yes, they did. It was fun to watch. I did actually turn it off at one point. I was tired. It was late. I had to work the next day. And Jameis Winston threw an interception. And I was like, oh. But I did go to bed. But I turned the game on in the bedroom. So I only had it off as long as it took me to walk upstairs and get into the bedroom. So I didn't really turn it off. But speaking of Taryn, be sure to check him out on Set Point, the best volleyball show out there. You can catch Set Point on Mondays. You can also catch him on the SoCal Supreme Sports Show on Fridays for all of your SoCal Supreme sports needs. And you can catch him on Saturday mornings with Larry B on 3 and Out College Edition. That is a fantastic show as well. So be sure to check out all 3 of those shows that Taryn is a part of, especially the volleyball show. It's the best volleyball show out there. No doubts about it. So back to these Cleveland Browns. They made some roster changes over the past week. They claimed defensive end Cameron Thomas and defensive end James Houston off of waivers. They waived defensive end Ellerson Smith. They also designated rookie cornerback Miles Harden to return from IR, and then they re-signed defensive end Ellerson Smith to the practice squad. So, what's next for these Cleveland Browns? So, on Monday Night Football, they will be heading to Denver to take on the Broncos, who have been hot. So, my husband and I were talking about this last night, and he says, so when was the last time the Browns won in Denver? I can't remember the last time they won in Denver. So I pull out my phone and I try and look it up. First thing I found was 1972. And my husband says, see, I told you it wasn't in my lifetime. But then I look a little deeper. And actually it was 2018. So it actually wasn't that long ago. It was Nick Chubb's first season, y'all. Nick Chubb's first season. And this is kind of like Nick Chubb's first season again. So maybe the Browns can march on into Denver on Monday night under the lights and take home the win. Just maybe. I mean, Bo Nix has never seen the likes of Myles Garrett. That's for dang sure. So we'll see. A lot of it's going to depend on which Jameis we get. You know, are we going to get Jameis against the Ravens and Steelers, or are we going to get Jameis against the Saints? I don't know. We'll see. But this team is riding on a high right now, so I wouldn't put it past them to pull out a win in Denver. I mean, it will be the first time in 6 years, and the Broncos are 22-7 all time against the Browns. That's right, 22-7. The only team, I think, if I'm not mistaken, who has beat the Browns more times than the Broncos is the Steelers. That's right. And we just beat the Steelers. So, let's go into Denver and beat some freaking Broncos. Welcome Bo Nix to the NFL with a nice little Myles Garrett high five. Not really a high five. Could just put him on his wallet once or twice. Maybe 3 times. Go for another 3-fer. Myles Garrett has had a couple of 3-fers this season. Let's do it again. All right, y'all. That is going to wrap things up for the Browns. Let's get into some college football. We got some teams in the mix in Ohio, in the college football arena. Let's talk about these John Carroll Blue Streaks marching into the playoffs after being counted out. They played Mount St. Joseph out of Cincinnati on Saturday, and they whooped their ass 52-7. They were up 31-0 at the half. John Carroll wasn't messing around. They went in there to win, and win they did. Now, a little bit more on John Carroll. The OAC awards were announced this week, and John Carroll's got some. Center Matt Rather was awarded the OAC 2024 Ken Wabel Award. Wide receiver Tyron Montgomery was awarded the OAC 2024 Ed Sherman Award. Punter Owen Schuckert was awarded the OAC 2024 Special Teams Award. And on top of that, the Blue Streaks have 15 All OAC honorees. Congratulations to all of the OAC honorees, especially those playing for the Blue Streaks and the Purple Raiders. We will talk about the Purple Raiders here shortly, but right now the focus is on the Blue Streaks. So, what happens now? John Carroll won their first playoff game. Now, they head on down to Mount Union, or Zount Union, as we're going to call them today, to take on the Purple Raiders. That game is underway as we speak. And, you know, as much as I've been rooting for the Purple Raiders, I gotta go with John Carroll in this one. I gotta go with the underdog, y'all. Come on, Blue Streaks. The Blue Streaks are in Cleveland after all. And I, too, am in Cleveland. Mount Union is a little further down south. So we're going to go with the Blue Streaks and root for them today for the upset over Mount Union. I mean, the Blue Streaks were probably the only team that gave Mount Union a hard time this season. It was a close game when they met during the regular season portion of the schedule. So it would not at all surprise me if John Carroll tops them in this one. Now on to the other come out of nowhere team in Ohio. The Ashland Eagles took on number 2 Charleston, West Virginia, in the first round of the D2 playoffs last Saturday, and they won 40-38. They were down 14-10 at the half, and they pulled it out with a last-second field goal. It was fantastic. I actually got to watch it on ESPN Plus. Man, they got the ball back, and they were down by 1. They had I believe it was 54 seconds left. Man, they marched right down that field and got in field goal position. And on second down, they kicked the field goal to win it. It was fantastic. Their next game is here in about 15 minutes. They will be taking on number 3, California, Pennsylvania, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not counting these Eagles out. No, sirree, I am not. I would love to see the Eagles make it all the way through these playoffs because they were counted out. They were counted out, and they refused to lie down. Now for the big boys. Let's talk about them Buckeyes. The Buckeyes. So, number 2, Ohio State took on number 5, Indiana, and I forgot to look at the new rankings. I don't know if Indiana is still number 5 or not. Probably not. But anyway, Ohio State is still number 2 because they won 38-15. The Buckeyes came out to make a statement, and they succeeded. In Indiana's coach's introductory statement when he was hired, he said, Purdue sucks, Penn State sucks, Michigan sucks, Ohio State sucks. Who sucks now, coach? Hmm. Surely isn't Ohio State. Cody Simon was named a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. Will Howard was named Big Ten Co-Offensive Player of the Week. And the Buckeyes get the solid win, 38-15. Now for today's game, I fear it's a trap game. I hope they figure it out and they get the W, because Exogen, Zishigan, that's what we call him, Zishigan. Not that great this season. So they're playing right now. I just checked my phone. I haven't gotten any notifications. So not sure how that game is going right at the moment. I will get it on here in a few minutes, but the game started at noon. And if Ohio State gets the W, they will be taking on Oregon in the Big Ten championship. So get it done, Buckeyes. Get it done. And last but not least, in our college football, we have the Zount Union Purple Raiders, because we're not doing M's, right, y'all? No M's in Ohio today. Running back Tyler Echeverry was named Co-Bob Packard OAC Offensive Back of the Year. And head coach Jeff Dart was named Larry Kira's OAC Coach of the Year. And the Purple Raiders had 16 all OAC honorees. So way to go, Purple Raiders. Fantastic season once again. Sorry to say, I hope it ends today. I got to pull for the Blue Streaks. I'm all about the underdog. Plus, like I said, the Blue Streaks are in Cleveland and the Purple Raiders are not. And I am. Now, for the last little bit of the show, we have just a little bit of soccer news. Have some award winners for your Columbus Crew. Wilfried Nancy is named 2024 MLS Coach of the Year. Much deserved. Much deserved. Oops. Get rid of Zount Union there. And Darlington Nagby has won the 2024 Audi Goals Drive Process Impact Award for his contributions to the Columbus community. Congratulations to Wilfried and Darlington. And congratulations to Jeff Dart and Stephen Vogt, who also won Coach/Manager of the Year. It has been one of those years for these Cleveland and Columbus sports teams, winning Coaches of the Year and Manager of the Year and all that fun stuff. You know, Stefanski back in February won Coach of the Year for the Browns. Got Wilfried Nancy now, Jeff Dart, Stephen Vogt. That's what we do here in Ohio. We win things. Sometimes. All right, y'all. That is going to, I can't end the show on those colors. I'm sorry, crew. I love y'all, but your colors. Dude, the colors. Can't do it. There we go. That's better. We can't do the black and gold here to end the Cleveland show, y'all. Yes. It is the Crew's colors, and it is the only black and gold that truly matters. But we cannot end the Cleveland show in black and gold. So thank you, one and all, for joining me on the show of the land here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As I said earlier, be sure to follow me on all of the socials. You can see it all right there. And follow IE Sports Radio. Also on all of the socials. Subscribe on YouTube and all of that fun stuff. I will catch you all here again on Tuesday. Tuesday will probably be a little bit of a shorter show since not a whole lot going on between now and Tuesday. We will definitely talk about the Browns, how these college teams fared today, and a couple of hockey and basketball games. But maybe we'll get into a little more college stuff on Tuesday, since there's not a whole lot of professional going on between today and Tuesday. But be sure to catch me on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you once again for all 147 of you who joined me live today. And I will catch you on Tuesday. Go enjoy some college football. And let's keep down Michigan. Go Buckeyes!
What?